Well, speaking of the funny, so you got into the camp with Jamie. You were doing the comedy camp. So how did you decide, I think this is what I really, really, really want to do?
Well,
Because then came movies, little television. So how did that journey go from inside the Laugh Factory to outside the Laugh Factory?
Well, I was doing comedy till I got emancipated. Once I got emancipated from the foster care system, I became homeless. And so then that's how I got into working at the airlines. And then I really got depressed and basically had a breakdown. Like it was like right after I boo-booed in the shoes. Boo-booed in the shoes, I had like a full-on breakdown, and I ended up in psychiatric therapy, and the therapist was like, what brings you joy? What makes you feel good? And I was like, well, hearing people laugh and seeing people smile makes me feel good. When I used to do those comedy shows, that used to be the best feeling in the world. And she was like, why don't you get back into stand-up and do it as a hobby? And so I did like 2 shows, and then like open mics, and then on that second one, somebody saw me and was like, yo, you need to do this event for us. We paying $50 for 15 minutes. I was like, $50 for 15 minutes? I'm there. I'm there.
I'm there, right.
And so I went and I bombed terribly. I didn't read the room. I had no idea what kind of show I was doing. It was a show for like a whole room of lesbians, and they were there with their girlfriends and whatnot, and all my jokes was like dick jokes and my boyfriend this and my boyfriend that, and they was like, I got your boyfriend, I got something for you in the drawer, and they were heckling me, and I mean, they were laughing, but they were laughing at the heckler, not at what I had to say, and I was scared. I was like shaking, like, guys, you guys are making me feel like a piece of meat. This is not okay. Like, but I would not get off the stage because I wanted to get paid for my 15 minutes, right? And so when I finished, when I hit my 15-minute mark, I was like, all right, that's my time. Good night. And sorry. Like, and I got off the stage, and I just knew they weren't going to pay me. And they were like, good job sticking it out. And here's your $50. And they gave me the $50. And I was like, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. Like, I didn't even do well at all, and they still paid me. I'm going to stick to this. And it's so funny because I've run into people over the years that remind me of that show. And they're like, we saw you had something, you had some potential. You were just fresh. You were too new, right? You weren't ready.
And you didn't come through the Def Jam Comic View era. You didn't do any of that. You made this just Tiffany on my own.
On my own. Be doing like open mics in Santa Monica at cafes, doing open mics at the Laugh Factory. And then after about 3 months, then the Laugh Factory started letting me host. And
which they don't let a lot of women host up there.
No, they don't.
Just FYI, people.
No, they don't. And I was doing really good at that. And I would invite like my coworkers from the airlines to come and watch and stuff. And one day, one of my coworkers was, I guess, at lunch with one of her friends, and her friend was an agent. And she's like, I gotta find an attractive black female that's a comedian that could be on this big black comedy show. And she's like, oh, Tiffany Haddish, my friend Tiffany that works at the airport with me, she does comedy. She's really cute. You might want to get her in. So they call me, get my phone number from 411 from information, calls me.
411.
Because I stayed listed in case my dad was ever looking for me, he could find me. That was my thought. And so she calls me, and I had just stopped working at the airline. So I thought it was going to be like when they called and said, yeah, this person told me about you, and we're doing this show. And so I'm thinking they're doing a surprise, like going away party or something, right? So I dress up like I'm going to a party. I have my Rocawear jeans on, my little cute top and little heels and stuff. And I go to the office, and I'm waiting for my coworkers to pop out of somewhere, but nobody popped out. And it was like a real agency, and they were talking to me about my life and talking to me about what my goals were. And they're like, do you want to be a movie star or actress? What do you want to do? I said, I just want to do stand-up. I just want to make people laugh. That's it. I'm not worried about being on TV or anything like that. And they're like, well, you got to get on TV. And that way, more people will see you, and then more people will come to your shows, and that's how you're going to get paid. And I was like, well, I don't really care about being on TV that much. I just want to make people laugh. Like, I just want to do comedy shows all over the world and make people laugh. That's all I want to do. I just want to bring joy. And they were like, she's like, you have to get on television. You have to get on television. So she makes me audition for a big black comedy show. I was not ready. I was not ready then, and didn't get the job, but she started booking me on TV shows like That's So Raven and My Name is Earl. And like, I started getting these small parts.
Yeah, because we got your resume here. It's quite extensive.
Yeah.
For things that people don't know or didn't know you then. And, and they don't know that you
And I was doing
that.
background work for years. Like, and I made so many friends doing the background work. I would talk to all the PAs and the, you know, ADs, director's assistants, and I would make friends with everybody, and I would invite them all to my comedy shows, and I would get tickets from the Laugh Factory and pass them out to all the extras, everybody. And it's so funny because all those people are now executives, or they're actual directors, or they're, you know, production managers, or they're casting directors. Like, they're people that hire people like me. And they always think of me. They never forget me. Like, you were always so sweet. You always invited me to shows. Nobody would talk to me, and you was the only one that would talk to me. So, like,
catering and hair and makeup are my 3 best friends. When I go anywhere, I make them my friends immediately.
Right.
And then I start talking to the grips and see who the macho single guys are or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you were an underdog? Do you pull for underdogs?
I prefer underdogs for sure, because I understand the struggle. I mean, it was many years of struggling, 20 years before Girls Trip came along, and then like, boom. But I mean, even before Girls Trip, I had made a name for myself amongst the community.
And we worked together on Snoop Dogg Presents Bad Girls, a comedy.
And we worked on that Reality Bites back show together.
Oh my God, don't ever mention that again. Don't ever mention that again.
That's when you was like being a stripper or something like that.